let's say if the devil comes to you, right? And so I'll give you $100 million, but I want you to turn your back on God. Would you turn your back on God, or will you take that $100 million?
Now, children, I think it's time we learned a little bit more about this earth we live on. But first of all, we have to change our idea that the world is flat. In truth, it is round and shaped like a ball.
That's not what the Reverend told us, Miss Sarah.
Well, even the Reverend doesn't know everything. Now, children, if you start here and you go around long enough in the same direction, you wind up in the place you started from. Yes, Thomas?
Why don't we fall off when we walk underneath, Miss Sarah?
Because of a force called gravity.
What does gravity look like?
Gravity is something we can't see, but we know it's a great invisible force that keeps us all here on Earth. Some of you know what a magnet is, don't you?
I do.
Well, then let's think of it like that. Gravity could be called a kind of magnet. It's a natural force that keeps us all from flying off into space.
We were always told that the world is flat.
You were told right. Don't listen to her. I've been patient with you, Sarah. Lord knows I've been patient. But now your words have revealed you.
The law of gravity was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton in 1687.
But there is only one law. The law of God. If our divine maker had meant for us to walk upside down, he would have put feet on our hands. Children, listen to me. Look around you. All around you. As far as the eye can see, the earth is flat. Now, you see it that way, because that is the way the Lord intended for it to be. Anything else is heresy.
Why can't you accept it? It's a proven scientific fact.
Sarah, what you speak is heresy. Our divine maker intended us to walk upright, not upside down. We've had enough of this scientific nonsense of yours. School is over. From this moment on, you will no longer corrupt our children's minds.
But the children need me.
Not anymore, they don't.
Now, what we not finna do is play with God's word. Now, if God said he laid the earth on its foundations and put a firmament over us, then that's exactly what he did. See, in the Bible, God told Isaiah the difference between a ball and a circle. God knew exactly what wordplay he was using in the Bible to describe the earth. In the Bible, God also speaks about the four corners of the earth. A ball does not have corners, but a flat surface do. Now, when I say four corners of the earth, this is what I mean. The same way that man made a compass, a circle compass, and put north, east, south, and west, I'm speaking of exactly that. God also says in the Bible that he set a compass upon the face of the earth. Now, remember when I said that God made the earth as a compass? Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, the compass only recognizes north. North always points towards the center. Hint, the North Pole. Any other direction is only based off the direction of north. How could a compass point south on a globe if they are saying that south is downwards? East and west are curved lines that constantly readjust to align with north. So y'all question is, how come when I'm flying in a plane, I end up in the same place I came from? Well, that only happens with east and west. So if you say that you circled the whole world and ended up in the same place, that's because you were going east and west. But let me tell you something. Traveling south is a whole different ballgame. See, because south is any direction leaving the center. See, because if you begin to head south, you will reach the Antarctica ice wall. So traveling south, you will never end up back at the same place. See, because there's a reason they won't allow y'all to travel south and end up at the ice wall. Like, bruh, come on. Even the compass don't want you traveling south. That's why it always points back to north, telling you to turn around every time you start to travel south. See, because if you decide to keep going and get past that ice wall, you will realize there is in fact a firmament over us, keeping anyone from leaving this earth. We couldn't be living in a globe if we wanted to. See, water has to be contained. They say that the earth is 71% water, so that by itself would be impossible. And I know y'all probably be wondering, where do rainbows come from? Now, scientists will tell you they self, to make a rainbow, you need water, light, and a mirror. See, when God said he created the firmament, he spreaded it out like a molten looking glass. See, them big rainbows that you see is proof that we live underneath the firmament. It's the sunlight reflecting off of the firmament to remind us of his promise to never flood the earth again. See, God said he set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be moved. But scientists are saying that we are spinning and moving 1,040 miles per hour. And in 1927, we had no idea what the earth looked like, but created this picture. Now, all of a sudden, in 1997, they go see the earth and it looked exactly like that picture? No. Now, do y'all know who this man is? Probably not. But this is Richard E. Byrd. He was one of the first to discover Antarctica in 1928. See, he found evidence of the flat earth with the firmament over us. Even in his diaries and writings, he said it. See, he traveled all the way to the four corners of the earth. See, and when he found this discovery, what did our government do? They all went down to Antarctica 3 years later to claim a piece of it and to keep the truth hidden from us. That's why the Antarctica ice wall today is just like Area 51. Nobody could go there. Why is that? Are they hiding the truth? See, because that's what it seems like. Because that's what it is. See, and they just keep telling y'all all these lies and y'all just get brainwashed by it. They tell y'all they fly to the moon. See, because my question is, how you gonna fly to the moon when God said he made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night? Meaning that the moon and the sun ain't even solid objects. They're luminary. You can't just go up there and land on it. Like, come on, bro. Everybody know that landing was fake. The flag up there waving. You could see a shadow on the moon. Y'all talking about the stars is outer space. But in the videos and in the pictures, there's no stars in space. See, because y'all gonna have to do more than that to convince me. Because in Romans 3 and 4, God said, let Yah be the truth and every man a liar. But I know y'all gonna ask me, Anaya, how do sunsets work if the earth is flat? See, in Job 9 and 7, God says, who commands the sun and it does not rise? See, on y'all's globe earth, y'all believe that the sun is setting and rising, but in reality, it's all just about perspective. For example, have y'all ever heard of a vanishing point? See, because in reality, the sun and the moon are not setting and rising. They are rotating. See, because the farther that is getting away from us to rotate around the earth, it's seeming as if it's going down. And the closer that is getting from making its way back around to us, it seems as if it's rising. It's all due to perspective from where we're at.
This appears due to perspective. And here's another example. The line is tied perfectly even across the counter, and the bottles are sitting level on the countertop. Now let's look at it from the counterpoint view.
Okay, so y'all like, yeah, nah, I mean, that sound good. But how do seasons work then? See, what I need y'all to know is that the sun and the moon are actually closer than what they are telling y'all. The sun and the moon are inside the firmament with us. See, electromagnetism actually perfectly explains how the sun and the moon rotates on Earth. See, the sun and the moon are not rock or gas. They're light sources. Now, these light sources are in the shape of a disc that rotate the Earth like a clock, but in a coil-like spiral, dictating the seasons and the climate as it goes. See, now when the sun is beyond the equator ring, the northern hemisphere experiences summer, and the southern hemisphere experiences winter. Inversely, when below the equator ring, the southern hemisphere will experience summer, and the northern hemisphere will experience winter. They got y'all thinking that there's life beyond the earth. There is no space. There is no other planets out there. God says he sits at the top of the firmament. Those planets that y'all are seeing in those telescopes, those are called wandering stars. All of these are light sources. They are not solid objects. Alright, Anais, so how does a solar eclipse work on a flat earth? And why can't we see stars during an eclipse of the sun and the moon? See, God says in eclipses the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious days of the Lord. As so, see, a solar eclipse happens when the sun and the moon decides to rotate over each other. As so. Okay, so why can't we see stars during a solar eclipse? See, God says immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. So why can't you see stars during a solar eclipse? His word tells you everything you need to know. There is nothing outside the firmament that they know of because they can't get past the firmament. God tells us he placed water above the firmament. All these people didn't have the same vision for no reason. There was many times that they have snitched on themselves, saying that they never been outside the earth, saying that there's nowhere to go, saying that they never been to the moon for real. They even be putting the truth into the cartoons. They are steady trying to break the firmament. They trying to nuke the firmament, sending rockets up there to break the firmament. They trying everything in their power. And as a matter of fact, my next video, I'm going to be showing y'all videos of them really saying they ain't never been to the moon. I'm going to be showing y'all videos of them trying to nuke the firmament, them trying to send rockets to the firmament, and even putting hidden truth into these cartoons and movies. These people know exactly what they are doing, and they know exactly what the firmament is. I'm telling y'all, that's exactly the reason why we can't go to the Antarctica ice wall. You can't fly over it. You can't do nothing. They don't want you seeing nothing, knowing nothing. Because they know once we find out that there is an end to this earth, that we gonna know the Bible is the true history of this world. And I want y'all to know that there is no other planets outside of this firmament. When God said he created the earth, I'm pretty sure he would have said, I created Saturn, Mars, Neptune, and Venus. He calls those wandering stars. And I want to tell y'all so bad what stars are, but y'all can just see it in the next video because I don't have time to actually explain it right now because I only have 10 minutes on TikTok. But when I tell y'all the truth about stars, it's going to blow y'all mind. See, because what I want y'all to know is back in the day in them old Bibles, before all the wordings was getting changed into their own interpretation, in 2 Samuel 11:11, it said that the earth was flat. But that was before they started changing everything, so people wouldn't know the truth. And that's why God said those who took away from his word and added to his word will be greatly punished. So the whole point to this video is, let Yah be the truth, and every man my guy. So as y'all know in my recent videos, I told y'all about the flat earth and the firmament over us that was created by God. I also spoke to y'all about how space doesn't exist. There are no other planets outside of the firmament. And what y'all are seeing through those telescopes are wandering stars. I also spoke to y'all about the Antarctica ice wall and how that's really the end of the earth. So please, if y'all haven't watched that video, do not watch this video yet. Go watch my flat earth video first, or you're gonna be lost by the videos that I'm about to show you, of them proving that they never been to the moon. Some of these videos y'all can't even find no more. And how they put the truth right in our face. How every day that they're sending rockets up there to try to break the firmament. Because in reality, they know they never been anywhere. And everything they've been telling us is a lie. In Romans 3:4, God said, let him be the truth and every man a liar. It's about time y'all learn the truth.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system.
The earth is a closed system.
We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.
That video you can't find anymore. Also, they've been sending rockets trying to nuke the firmament. And Hillary Clinton was making fun of it, saying that they're finally starting to crack it. But people were so brainwashed that they wasn't even paying attention to what she was actually saying. Now remember, God said he spread out the sky, which is strong as a molten looking glass.
I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. So, I guess I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. It's fine for all this talk about me running to break the big, hard glass ceiling. And although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And the light is shining through like never before.
There's a mystery. Scattered around in the sand are thousands of chunks of strange yellow-green glass.
It is really, really a mysterious glass. We scientists are still kind of puzzled how these things form.
And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. It's got about 18 million.
You see how scientists found that glass and they said that they was puzzled because they don't even know how that glass even formed? That's because they've been trying to crack the firmament. Man, these people don't even know what they finna do to us. Do they not understand that above the firmament is water? They so evil, they only care about theyselves. Now I'm about to show y'all them sending a rocket up to the firmament. And when they hit the firmament, it created ripples because of the water above the firmament, making it look like a motorboat sliding through water. That's the firmament that the rocket plowed against. That's a video of a rocket once it hit the firmament, creating ripples throughout the water above the firmament. Don't it look exactly like this? The firmament. Here another one. Crazy. Wow. This is a rocket before it hit the firmament. They try to say it's smoke. Y'all look at this. They didn't go no farther than the firmament. They're scraping across it. Which was creating a motorboat-like on water because of the waters above the firmament. They be trying to make us look dumb, trying to add little clips into cartoons and movies. Like, watch this mess.
Kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back. And the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium.
Like, let's be honest, what's funny about that? Y'all think it's funny because y'all are trying to break the firmament of the earth and brainwash people? Like, what are you gonna get out of breaking the firmament? Like, how do you think God flooded the earth? He put waters above the firmament and underneath the earth. That's what allowed the flood to happen so quick in the story of Noah. So what do you think you're gonna get out of cracking the firmament? There is nothing out there. Nothing. Then you trying to be funny about the Antarctica ice wall, trying to add it into a cartoon, knowing that it's the truth. And if you want to know more about the Antarctica ice wall, you can go watch my flat earth video. Y'all know that the Antarctica ice wall is the end of the earth. Y'all know that. That's why nobody is able to even fly over it. They can't do nothing, or they'll be shot dead. Like, come on, bruh. Like, watch this cartoon of them trying to be funny.
Almost made it to the edge of the world.
The edge of what now?
The edge of the world, yo. Where the planet drops off.
Drops off? Wait, Beast Boy, you don't believe the Earth is round?
Mm-hmm. That's right. The Earth ain't round. It's a big old pancake. Your laughter only makes my belief stronger.
When did you become so dumb?
I ain't dumb. I'm a free thinker.
If you believe the Earth is a pancake, then what about the thousands of photos that clearly shows the Earth is round, like a basketball?
They's all fake.
Okay, if the Earth is a pancake, then how do we get both day and night?
Because the sun is like a spotlight, and it moves around, shining on one place at a time.
Okay, crazy.
But if the Earth is a pancake, why does not the water spill off the edges?
Yeah, water would spill right off into space.
Ha ha ha! Explain that, Mr. Pancake Earth!
2 words. Butter wall.
Butterwall?
Seriously? A butter wall?
That's what I said, fool! There's a big old butter wall, and it circles the entire pancake Earth.
The butter wall keeps the water in.
Aha! Now you're catching on.
Lame. Anyways, that butter wall they was trying to talk about is actually the Antarctica ice wall. Because they know the truth. They know the truth. And then they keep claiming that they went to the moon, which is a lie. Didn't want to say they don't have the technology anymore. How, when technology was more advanced than years ago? But it's okay because y'all got caught in that lie. Y'all had the flag waving. Y'all had shadows in space. And y'all say the stars is outer space. But in the pictures, there was no stars in space. Like, come on, make it make sense. But it's okay because y'all got caught up a lot. And here's some videos to prove it.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. But I think I know. Because we didn't. Because we didn't. Because we did.
He said it would be nice to know why they didn't. I can tell you. Because first of all, there's a firmament over us. Second of all, the moon and the sun is luminary. It's not a solid object that you can go land on. Also, it's not outside the firmament. The sun and the moon is inside the firmament. So I'm sorry to break your heart, Buzz, but y'all will never be going to the moon. Or anywhere for that matter. Like, I'm sorry, but this dude don't make no sense right here.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back.
Like, come on. My guy. So if y'all watched my last video, y'all know that I was talking about how we actually live underneath a firmament. But in that video, I told y'all at the end that I was going to tell y'all what stars were. Now listen up, because this finna be crazy. So when I was looking through my comments, I seen a lot of people saying that when they look through telescopes, that the stars look like lights underwater. Someone also said they shake like ripples, and they look like as if you're looking through water. So I was looking at the comments and I was like, oh, they don't know. They don't know what stars is. Woo! Well, let me tell you. See, what y'all don't know is stars are actually dancing glimpses of light, interacting with the water above the firmament. See, when God made the firmament, he divided the waters from which they were under the firmament and the waters that was above the firmament. Why you think the sky is blue? Big bodies of water is always going to turn the water blue. Just like when you get in your bathtub, the water come out clear, but once it fills up the tub, it has that blue tint to it. See, I'm finna show y'all a video of someone zooming up to a star with their phone. See, those colors that you see coming off of the stars are based off a wavelength interval and frequency interval. Now listen to that word I just said, frequency. Alright, so now I'm about to show y'all a video of a scientist creating a star and saying what you need to create one.
This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
Woo! So key words: sound wave, frequency, water bubbles. A strong sound wave frequency creating such a strong force through a water bubble that makes it collapse and burst into light, creating a star. Now remember when I said that the color of the stars that keep on changing is based off a wavelength interval and frequency interval. Now God said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He said, let there be light, and there was light, creating light with the sound, vibration, and frequency of his voice. The Word is God. He created those same stars using the frequency of his voice and using the water bubbles throughout the water above the firmament. His voice was so powerful that it allowed the bubbles to collapse, making dancing water glimpses of light. See, Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto came up with a new way to capture messages through water. He took samples of water and freezed them at -25 degrees. He'll then analyze the water after a few hours underneath a dark field microscope with photographic capabilities in a lab in a constant temperature of -5 degrees. He'll then test out different audio frequencies and human sound vibrations on each sample. He focuses on human vibration energy, such as thoughts, words, music, and how it affects the molecular structure of water. Here's some of his results and works of him doing it, using different sounds and words, creating different shapes on the water, as so. It's similar to the way semantics work. Basically, as the pitch and the tone increases, geometric patterns will form and become more complex. Semantics or sound frequencies in water resembles the pulsating pattern of what an actual star looks like when zoomed in. Different frequencies and sounds and vibrations in water created the different forms of dancing glimpses of light. The book of Enoch also talks about how lightning comes from the stars, but they will not lose their form. The Bible also talks about how powerful God's voice is. It's the sound of rumbling thunder when he speaks. So remember, God spoke the word into being, and it was so. Such as words, speech, sound, frequency, vibration. His words created the stars within the water above the firmament. The same way that scientists just showed us how they made a star. Using water by adding a frequency of a strong enough sound and vibration. What sound is more powerful than God's? Creating water bubbles that collapsed and bursted into light. Is the same way that God spoke light into existence, using the frequency, vibration, and sound of his voice through the water of the firmament, creating water bubbles all throughout the water, that his word was so strong it allowed the bubbles to burst into light, creating stars, creating the dancing glimpses of water above the firmament. So always remember, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word, frequency, sound, vibration, speech, sound wavelength. Whew! What a God. My guy. Now y'all know exactly why this man was drowning. 'Cause them people ain't in space. I'ma tell y'all exactly where NASA is shooting those fake space videos at. See, what y'all don't understand is NASA has multiple contracts with virtual reality companies. NASA uses virtual reality contact lenses to interact with objects on the ISS that are literally computer animated in reality. And then the fake objects are added to the video's lives using green screen. And one of these teams they work with is a team from the University of Washington that has created a contact lens assembled with functional circuitry and LEDs. And the potential uses includes virtual display for pilots, video games, projection, and telescopic visions for soldiers. And now their next step are to build a version that can display several pixels. See, NASA can't go to space. They can't go to the moon. That's a light source. It's not even an object. We live underneath the firmament. What y'all don't know is people discovered the Antarctica Circle ice wall long ago. They even had it on the stamps, which is the end of the firmament. And NASA and them know that. That's why they keep sending rockets to nuke the firmament. Everything about NASA is a fraud. They're literally making videos in water. Why you think the same way they move in space, like, you move that same way underwater. That same exact motion. And they telling y'all that's where they practice. That's where they do they space struts at. To practice floating in space. It's in water. You want to know why? Because that's where they make their videos too. Y'all can't tell me that y'all actually looking at these pictures right here and thinking they real. This is where they shooting their videos at. They practice in the water because that's where they make their videos at. And dude helmet thing wasn't on right. So the water started going through the dude helmet and he almost drowned. NASA started in the ocean. So don't forget, NASA started exploring the ocean, water, way before they started exploring space. And these people ain't in space. They still in the water. They just got y'all thinking they in space, knowing they can't get outside the firmament. This supposed to be an actual picture. Y'all can't tell me this don't look like animated CGI. Y'all can't tell me that y'all this brainwashed to believe this. Look at this. This is a video game picture. And then they telling y'all satellites is in space. Man, everybody know that data coming from the cables in the water? Come on.
There's a theory that we haven't ever been to outer space because of a transparent barrier that surrounds our entire world, and that past this barrier isn't open space or a vacuum, but water. Now, it all might sound crazy, but back in 1962, the US government launched a couple of nukes into the sky to allegedly test out the atmosphere's reaction to them, or that's what they want us to believe. But some say they were actually trying to see if they could crack that invisible barrier. Ironically enough, this program was called Operation Fishbowl. This theory is further speculated, as many have said that if you look at the stars with your own eyes, or zoom in on them with a camera, it seems to be twinkling or shining through a liquid-like substance. As rocket enthusiasts have observed, that rockets we have launched do seem to hit an invisible ceiling that causes a ripple-like effect that you would see in water, leading to a pretty strange...
Take a look at this video of the trajectory of a launched rocket. Think about the path that the rocket follows. Instead of moving in a straight line, the rocket following a curved trajectory. This isn't a mistake. You will see the exact same thing in every other video of a rocket launch. Even so, it doesn't seem to make sense. Rockets are supposed to go into space, right? So wouldn't it make more sense if they went straight up in a line, rather than following a parabolic path? They'd reach space much faster that way, it would seem. There must be a reason, because rocket scientists tend to be pretty smart, so why do they not go straight up? Hello and welcome to Question Spot. Today we will explore the answer of, why is a rocket trajectory curved after launch? So let's get started. Short answer, because they want to get into the orbit around the Earth using as little fuel as possible.
Wait a minute. Now, do you hear what their excuse is for orbiting the whole Earth before going to space? We all know that the fastest way from point A to point B is in a straight line. That's like saying when we get on an airplane, the airplane circles the airport before it takes off onto its destination. Or when I get in my truck in the morning, I circle the block before I actually get on the highway and go to work. Come on now, people. Do you even comprehend how ridiculous that sounds? Saving fuel. And I'll tell you what's even more ridiculous than that. You got these globetards that'll make these videos and put them on YouTube trying to explain that that's why the rockets curve on launch. Knowing good and well that they've never even seen a rocket in person or been beside a rocket or know anything about a rocket, but they'll go Google their information and then put out a little silly video like you see here, 15 minutes and 47 seconds long, trying to explain a lie that they've been lied to, and they have no clue what they're talking about. They're just giving you information that was handed down to them through a space agency. So anyways, I'm here to show you why rockets curve when they launch. Check it out.
So they send these rockets up, but they don't really go anywhere.
Yeah, if you watch the trajectory, it's never straight. It's never straight.
Now, did you know that all rockets are launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida? Now, what's beside Florida? The ocean. You know what's in the ocean beside Florida? The Bermuda Triangle. Now, why don't they launch rockets from Texas, Colorado, or Kentucky? Because there's no ocean there for them to fall back into. And that is why they launched from Cape Canaveral, so they can drop it right in the Bermuda Triangle, and nobody ever know, nobody ever see, because nobody goes there. Now, space shuttles, they do a little different, but it's still pretty simple how they pull it off. You ever notice once the shuttle gets up so high, its boosters fall down into what? The ocean, the Bermuda Triangle. And then the shuttle, which is not really a space shuttle at all, it's just an airplane, big goofy looking airplane made to look like a shuttle. And then when it comes back, nobody notices how it just looks like an airplane landing on a runway. Check out the wheels. See these little doors on these wheels? And this stuff is supposed to say stay sealed in a vacuum? Yeah, come on now, people. It's time to wake up.
Blow me to Bermuda!
Where did he go? To Bermuda, I suppose.
So, as you can see, the owl is wise. He's trying to teach the child the truth. But the wizard, which is a devil, is trying to lie to him. And then what's he say? Fly me to Bermuda, and takes off like a rocket into the sky and curves off, just like you see real rockets do. And the reason they do, because there is no outer space. There's a firmament. There's nowhere to go. So it's just a little fireworks show to trick you and make you believe all this stuff. None of you have ever seen a rocket. You might have stood there in Florida and watched one go up in the air, but you've never seen one in space. Only on TV did you see one in space, not in real life with your own eyes. Wake up, people. Stop believing this bull crap. Those rockets go straight into that Bermuda Triangle. That's why they make up all these myths and don't want you around there. And they say all these ships are wrecked in there and all these planes have fell in there. The only thing that's fell in there is their rockets and their bull crap.
Sorry to tell you. The only thing that's been to space is your imagination.
Blow me to Bermuda!
Where did he go? To Bermuda, I suppose.
Where's that?
Oh, an island way off somewhere that hasn't been discovered yet.
Now, remembering that movie is from 1963, check this out. During the early 1960s, Bermuda played a crucial role in the United States lunar programs and other space flight missions. Cooper's Island, Bermuda. Cooper's Island is part of the chain which makes up Bermuda. It is located in St. George's Parish in the northeast of the territory. The island has been used by many United States government agencies, having been the property of the U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, and U.S. Navy from 1942 during World War II to 1995. It also is home to a NASA space tracking station recently renovated in 2018. Now you'll notice in 2018, around 2018 is when they started this rocket stuff up again. Now let's take a look at how close the relationship is between NASA and Bermuda. See, Bermuda and NASA has been affiliates since the early 60s when they first started sending rockets up, because they planned this out from the beginning. As you can see right here, you see the Bermuda Triangle, and then you see the island of Bermuda. Now 600 miles away, right over here, you have Cape Canaveral, Florida, where they do all the space launches from. Ain't that awful convenient? 600 miles away, and the only thing out in that ocean is a little island called Bermuda. Am I painting the picture clear enough for you now? You can go watch all the space launches you want to in Florida, but you can't see 600 miles away to where that rocket or shuttle is curving off to. NASA has been deceiving you with this trickery since the 1960s, people. It's time to wake up. They even show you in your little programs you watch. They show you the truth.
Blow me to Bermuda! Where did he go? To Bermuda, I suppose.
Where's that?
Oh, an island way off somewhere that hasn't been discovered yet.
A group of social criminals, these people in the space program. Nassholes, I call them.
Well, I've seen it all now, NASA. Just watching the Parker Probe spacecraft, which according to NASA has reached the atmosphere of the sun. What a load of shit! It's supposed to be hotter than a shearer's armpit out there. Have you actually had a look at this thing? It's a curtain rod frame wrapped in aluminium foil with a bloody car radiator and some duct tape slapped on. What's bloody next? A manned mission to the sun? Hey, let's get a bloody suntan and a souvenir from the gift shop. Can you imagine these clowns at NASA sitting around in a meeting coming up with the next elaborate hoax? Righto, fellas, I need some ideas for our next CGI mission. Jono? What about a trip to the moon with passengers? Nah, it's too hard to fake. No one would buy it, was there? We could grab one of the rings of Saturn and sell pieces of it to gullible people on eBay. Oh, I don't mind that, Woz. Let's workshop that. Mick? Oh, why don't we send a probe to the sun and make out we touched it? I love that, Mick. We could totally fake that shit. Yeah, and we could send back clear images and HD video of it. No, Mick, it has to look like shit, remember? Oh, yeah. Oh, I could go and get the old black and white camera from the Apollo missions out of storage. That looks like shit. Brilliant, Mick. Righto, let's sing Kumbaya. We'll give each other a Dutch rudder, then we'll have some adrenochrome shots at the bar and get this scam underway. Bloody hell, people are gullible.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And the light is shining through like never before.
Johnston Island was the center of launch and experimental activity for the 1962 high-altitude weapon effects testing termed Operation Fishbowl. Radiating out in all directions from this tiny island, 800 miles southwest of Hawaii, were instrumented stations, 266 of them. Within the limited confines of Johnston Island itself, the operations testing and support facilities were crowded into every spare niche, including space between the existing Air Force Station plant and buildings. with some apparatus and offices crammed into World War II bomb shelters, including the Scientific Readiness Team, Task Force control personnel, and launch control units. At the northwestern end of the island was the Thor launch complex, joined later by Nike Hercules and Stripey units, plus a second Thor pad. Fishbowl's line of more than 30 instrument rocket launchers with attendant checkout facilities were sandwiched between the island's runway and the shore. Standing offshore were 9 instrumented test ships, vital links in the Fishbowl effort, including the DAMP ship, acronym for Downrange Anti-Missile Measurements Program Ship, American Mariner. Fiji's jet airport at Nandi was the operating base for 3 Fishbowl aircraft. On each event, a KC-135 and 2 RC-121s. In the Pacific, as part of the Hardtack series, 3 effect shots, Yucca, Orange, and Teak, were detonated at respectively 26, 43, 77 kilometers. On Operation Fishbowl, nuclear detonations rent the sky 5 times over the Johnston Island area, each time during the hours of darkness. Of the 5 Fishbowl shots, the highest burst was the 400-kilometer Starfish event, launched by a pod-carrying Thor missile. Its yield was 1.4 megatons. In addition to the local phenomena, the transport of bomb debris and other charged particles in the magnetic field produced colorful aurora, arcing into the northern and southern conjugate regions. Some rockets, launched in conjunction with the burst, were positioned in time and space to chart radar transmission paths through the burst environment. The aim was to help establish the space-time parameters, also for each event. Existing military operational communications links throughout the Pacific area were monitored to determine the disruptive effects caused by the Fishbowl bursts. Now of necessity peering skyward in its quest for security, the results gleaned from 1962's high-altitude operation contribute both to this safeguard role and to scientific enlightenment on the effects of the atom above the atmosphere.
I broke the dome.
All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Flat or is it globe, mate? It's flat. This is flat. Thank you very much, mate. God bless.
A man asked the pilot if the Earth is flat.
Can I talk to the pilot, please? Right here. You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like for Delta 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And when you tell people that, do they think you're crazy or no?
Only one person.
Only one person?
They built it for a flat, stationary Earth, and my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow and set the bottom of your L-strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same.
Are you a pilot?
Yes, sir.
One question.
Okay.
When you descend in the air,
Yeah.
do you dip or do you go straight?
It's straight.
Straight?
A little more with the nose out. That's it.
But straight. You don't dip into the...
No.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, sir.
Have a great day.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No? There's no curvature?
It's just all flat.
The pilots. Is the Earth flat or round?
Flat.
Thanks. I'm with you.
Pregunta controversial. Hay un debate ahora en YouTube especialmente en el que las personas se cuestionan que si la curvatura de la Tierra es observable o no es observable.
No, a las alturas que vuelan esos aviones.
Usted no va haciendo ningún ajuste, va como si fuera parejito, sobre terreno
pero sí
plano.
tiene unos 2 grados más alto que normal, depende de lo que del test del avión.
Ok, la nariz va hacia arriba.
Sí.
Pero no tienen que buscar la curvatura. No, vuelan como si fuera sobre un plano.
Sí, es lo que trata de hacer el avión.
Bueno, muchas gracias,
Con mucho gusto.
Que siga bien. Hasta luego.
Because they tell us, that at least in the U.S., the ground's moving at about 700 miles an hour left to right. And I was thinking that's kind of odd if you're landing going north, or moving in the north direction.
That's not, no. The ground looks to us like it's standing still.
Yeah, not an issue, huh?
Yeah, no. We could probably see the Rockies from Kansas.
Wow.
But if it's a clear day, but if it's smoky or hazy, obviously we can't see.
Excuse me, guys.
Hey.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
One of us can answer it. You guys adjust for curvature as you're flying through the air. You know, the Earth is supposed to be a ball, right?
Yeah.
So should we be dipping down the nose of the plane to compensate for the curvature? Or do you guys
Long answer. It's a long answer.
Or do you fly over a flat plane?
Well, we're about a millimeter over a bowling ball. We're not that high.
8 inches per mile squared is the official story of what the curvature drop should be. So a distance that far, so if you're 8 inches from the shore on a beach and your friend is rowing his boat out 1 mile away, the boat should be already hidden by the curvature. You guys don't see curve, you see horizon at eye level.
No, I mean, if you look at more of the curvature of the Earth, we're on the perpendicular, we're just on that tangent.
So
and
really,
that never changes.
Earth's flat.
Sorry?
Earth is flat.
Yeah, well, we know that. We've seen it every day.
Flat and stationary.
Exactly. Everybody else.
Well, you know that. You guys see the horizon at eye level, and you have to understand that if you're on a ball, as you rise from a ball, you would have to look down to see the horizon.
Yeah.
You don't ever see that. I look out the window of the plane, and I see horizon as far as I can see, flat.
What's different from the front?
Even from there. Your windows aren't that much different. Earth is flat. It's a big lie. You guys should look into it. You know it's flat. You guys fly over it every day.
We're not allowed to tell anybody that.
I know.
Do you say that it's flat?
Yes.
Yeah? Thank you very much.
Is there any more pilots up here, or is it just you?
Just me.
Just you. I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
When you're up there, come on, cruising altitude, do you all have to adjust for any curvature of the Earth while you're up there?
Great question. No.
You don't?
But I know of.
Because my understanding is you're like on pretty much like a parallel sort of flight, other than takeoff and landing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess it's more vertical, so we're not curving at all. So we're just going straight up, like 40, 20 degrees maybe.
Right.
Level off, and I never thought about how the atmosphere works with the curve in the Earth and all that stuff.
Well, if you think about it, I've done some research on it. It actually, there's a formula, 8 inches per mile squared is what the curve is supposed to be. Spherical trigonometry. And if it was actually that formula, we would have to dip the nose a half a mile every minute to stay around the ball. So I just wanted to ask you, as someone who's up there, the plane doesn't do it automatically. You're not adjusting anything, right?
No,
it's just flying straight.
I've even talked about it in 30 years I've been flying.
Yeah, it's funny to think about.
Maybe the gases move with it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've heard as a working theory. Is some people think that gravity or does something for you, but I mean, I guess the common question goes back to is like, how many parallel flights does it take for you to go around in a circle?
It's very interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a look into it.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that.
Yeah, all right, man. Have a good one.
Hey, guys, you mind if I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So, when y'all are flying up there, do you account at all for the curvature of the Earth?
Well, we do when we do what we call getting directs. Our navigation system off of we have IRS's internal revenue initial reference system.
Just do your taxes?
That the airplane, it can do itself.
So it does it itself?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we lose our GPSs, but we also use GPS satellite and we use ground-based. And when we go direct, we no longer fly direct to a point we arc, because believe it or not, because of the marble, it's closer to arc to a point than it is to fly straight.
So if the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, we have a curvature of 8 inches per mile squared.
I'm going to take your word
Ride
on
with
that.
me.
I believe you.
If we're riding at about 500 miles an hour, roughly 35,000 feet, in order to stay over that, the plane would have to dip a half a mile a minute. Do you know what that would feel like up here?
No.
It would feel like a lot of dipping.
Are you like going to like launch satellites when you, or do you do
No,
that?
but I know people that actually launch we launch high altitude balloons.
Very cool.
120,000 feet, level plane.
So say that again. In order to stay at the same altitude.
Right. So if it's a 25,000 mile circumference ball, 8 inches per mile squared is the formula. It's spherical trigonometry. You have to kind of go do the math to make sure it works out. But if you're traveling at that speed, we would have to dip a half a mile a minute just to stay over that. So it would honestly be like we were kind of dipping all the time. And as you all know, the nose is slightly up, flying level. So my question is like, how many level flights does it take to go around the ball? We're not curving on the way to France. We're not curving on the way to New York.
We are.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the forces equal out, right? Like the gravity, the gravitational force.
All right, now is the plane doing it or is gravity doing it? Because now we got two different things.
I think gravity.
All right, one more and I'll let you guys go. The Earth is moving at east to west, 1,000 miles an hour, right?
I'll take your word for it.
What's it like landing on a runway north and south if that runway is moving 1,000 miles an hour east?
Well, we're moving 1,000 miles east.
We're moving with the Earth? So the only thing independent of the Earth's spin is sniper bullets, not balloons and airplanes. Think about it.
I love it, man.
Think about it.
All right, bro.
Your experience will tell you you're flying over a stationary plane. Just forget what you're taught. Just get the wheels turning. Y'all have a good day.
Whenever you fly your plane, do you ever account for a curvature?
No.
Do you ever account for Coriolis or Earth spin?
No.
Do you ever see the Earth curving?
No.
Does water find its level?
Yes.
Does it always find its level?
Yes.
Okay, so water always finds its level. Does water conform to its container?
Yes.
Y luego, además, aquí aparece como si fuera, no sé cómo le llamamos a esto, un anexo, un añadido, algo que se cose.
Sí, exactamente, un parchecito, que me recuerda a una persona muy especial. Plana y estacionaria, ¿se ve?
¿Plana? Sí. ¿Y no tiene algo de achatamiento? ¿No se ve el...? ¿No? Eso es cuando ya nos vamos a la órbita, ¿no?
La curvatura se ve cuando la cámara es de ojo de pez, como la que llevaba el que se tiró de Red Bull.
Sí.
Ahí sí que ves la curvatura, pero si la cámara es una cámara normal, se ve todo recto. Normalmente volamos a lo máximo, el techo del avión es 41.000 pies, que son 12 kilómetros 800 metros o algo así.
Sí.
Pero normalmente volamos a 35, 37, que
¿Y a esa
son
altura no se ve
10...
la curvatura?
No, hombre, no, según... a ver, yo he volado con el Lear a 47.000 pies, con el Lear del jet privado, que son unos 13 kilómetros 600 o algo así, y tampoco.